lot of them are lazy, disrespectful.
The world is really a mess right now.
I need them more than they need me.
Children are the future. You are the future. I'm finished. I'm closer to the end than to the beginning. It's about you.
Gen Z slander will no longer be tolerated. We've been the laughingstock of media outlets for the past decade, and we will not stand for this any longer. Every claim made against Gen Z has been said about almost every generation previous. But are any of these claims true? It's about time we fought back. Today, I took to the streets to ask Gen X and baby boomers how they actually feel about Gen Z. Then, I'll do my own research to test if these claims are valid or slander. Starting with number 1.
Whiny. Yo, the reason why people hate Gen Z is because, like, we really f***ed up everything for everybody else, bro.
Weak youngsters who don't understand
We already hating on Gen A too, bro. These are cooked because of us.
how the world works. Work harder. Do better.
This is the snowflake generation. They have the work ethic of a dead salamander.
Objection! The claim that Gen Z is inherently more lazy than any other generation is rooted in cognitive bias and lack of context. Let me explain. In order to understand this, we have to look at the psychology behind generational conflict in general. The kids these days phenomenon is as old as time itself. It's the illusion.
Kids these days, they don't even be like walking to school. Kids these days, they don't even be fucking.
That children in the present are significantly different and worse than how children were like a generation or two ago. It's kind of like those people who base their entire personality on the fact that
That's what people say though. People say stuff like that, bro. Like, they just be like comparing like the weirdest things.
Grew up in the 90s and they swear on their life no one born beyond the year 2000 knows what having a childhood is like. Like, whoa, okay, buddy. Y'all see one orange couch on TV and don't know how to act. Sometimes you just want to hit him with a...
Hey.
Nobody asked.
So why do some people believe that the next generation will always be worse than the last one? For 2 reasons: memory bias and our tendency to
Back in my day, we used to eat all the ass.
overly criticize others in an area that we are already good at. To some extent, we are all a victim of memory bias. Our ability as a human race to recall events accurately with memory alone is flawed, which is why court cases can't be solved by eyewitness testimony alone. The longer the time gap between the actual event occurring and when you try to recall that event as a memory, the more opportunity you give yourself to forget specific details and or to have your memory be manipulated to fit your current beliefs. Also
This is a very, very well edited video, by the way. Shout out to bro.
known as selective recall. For example, if you already believe you had a harder childhood than kids do today, you're more likely to only recall memories that justify that belief. So it's more accurate to say your belief came first and you select past experiences to justify it, rather than saying your belief came from your experiences.
But peep, okay, if this is true, that basically you're saying nostalgia is the only reason why people think that their generation is better than the last one, which I can agree with too. But like, we gotta be real. Certain generations are just not on the levels of other generations. Gen X, a lot of people don't be talking about them niggas. Them Gen X niggas really fucked the game up for all of us. Them the niggas who got addicted to crack and shit, who were deadbeat fathers, who walked out on their children. Baby boomers weren't that good either. So it's just kind of like, because baby boomers raised the Gen X motherfuckers who did that shit. So it's just kind of like, okay, everybody has a part to play, bro. Really, that's really what it is, bro.
Now, I was born in 1999, and I grew up watching 2000s TV. And if you grew up with me, you knew we had some bangers. I'm talking that I ran home, eyes glued to the screen, posture erect, waiting for the next Kids Next Door episode to drop. And I used to look at kids TV today in disbelief that they feed the youth such garbage. But I can't lie, after learning about
parents after slavery, kids these days never pick cotton from the fields. Don't time be what the fuck? Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Memory bias and looking back at the full roster of shows we were given as a kid, we probably had more misses than hits, because there is no way you're telling me this was prime TV. The second characteristic of the kids these days effect is the tendency to overly criticize others who are lacking in areas we are already good at. Have you ever had to train a new employee at your job and you are angry because they keep messing up at things from your perspective seemed basic? Or have you ever played a game or sport that you're really good at against someone that was complete garbage and you nitpicked everything they did to the point that how bad they were actually started to offend you? If you're already
when I play basketball with a nigga who's trash, bro, it pisses me off how bad you could be, bro. Cause like, nigga, peep. I played with niggas who like, bro. I play with niggas who like don't even know how to dribble for real. It be pissing me off. I'm like, nigga, just give me the ball. Give me the ball. I'm gonna cook.
Already really good at something, you tend to be overly judgy. And the problem with this is that even if we try to relate and attempt to think back to how we were when we got started, we still only do so through a lens
Of fucking course you know how to play basketball? Nigga, of course, bro.
of how we are today. And you start saying things like, I remember
I just let them set screens, but then the niggas be moving. I mean, yeah, that does work. I ain't gonna lie, if a nigga don't know how to play basketball, bro, set screens and foul on defense, because since everybody knows you don't know how to play basketball, if you foul, they're just gonna let you get away with it, or they're just gonna piss you off, or they're just gonna get pissed off, and then eventually you stop calling fouls. So just foul, set screens, and just get out the way. Let me cook. And just play defense.
struggling too, but I was never
And
that bad.
niggas who don't know how to play defense, niggas who don't know how to play basketball always play the best defense. I don't know. It's crazy.
If you're an older generation, you are in a completely different stage of your life than Gen Z. Whether you have a family, kids, or anything else, you objectively have more responsibilities in your life currently. And majority of you guys are well into your careers already with 10 plus years in workforce. You're already used to the idea of sacrifice and hard work. Obviously, if you look at a younger generation who barely just got out of college and yet to experience the working world, we are going to look lazy in comparison, because you're not comparing us to how you were back then. You're comparing us to how you view yourself now. Y'all are grown adults making fun of kids with significantly less experience than you. We just got started. Shut up. But don't just take my word for it. Take it from Joseph. Yeah. And he's about to drop some fire wisdom.
No, I mean, well, obviously, people make a remark, but if you make a remark, you don't have anything better to do. Empty barrels make the most noise.
Jeez, Joseph. Joseph must have been a chef at some point, because he...
And plus, what the Gen Z lazy thing? Okay, look. I agree with. Look, I'm gonna be real. I agree with a lot of Gen Z being lazy. It's just the truth. A lot of niggas. The reason why a lot of niggas in Gen Z just smoke weed. Smoking weed has just been a huge thing in Gen Z. Like, most people you meet have smoked weed before. If they like, nigga, like, I'm just gonna let you know. Most niggas you probably meet will be avid weed smokers, bro. Like, let me say this. Out of all the people I've met, 50% of the people I've met smoke weed, like, consistently, bro. I say 50%. I've met a lot of people. That might just be like a my city thing, but I feel like that's just how it's I feel like that's just kind of how things are. It's becoming very, very common, and weed makes you very lazy. Like, it does. It just naturally does. I'm gonna be real. I'm Jamaican. I believe in Jamaican culture, and weed is a big part of Jamaican culture. But I'll be the first person to tell you, a lot of Jamaican people are lazy as fuck. I'm just being real. Well, no, I won't say a lot. A good amount of Jamaican people are lazy as fuck. A lot is crazy. A good amount of Jamaican people are lazy as fuck. That's just how it is. They do their jobs, but, like, you feel me? They ain't gonna go above and beyond. Which is there's nothing wrong with that. But the tendency of a lot of them niggas, they smoke a lot of weed. Now, Jamaican weed is different from American weed. American weed is a lot stronger than Jamaican weed. A lot of niggas wouldn't think that's true. Jamaican weed is meant for you to kind of relax and chill, relax your body. American weed is meant to fuck you up for real. There's a difference. But, yeah, they're more relaxed. So even Jamaicans are always aggressive. We're just aggressive people. That's why we smoke weed. But still, it's like I've seen a good amount of Jamaican people just be lazy. But it's not like American lazy. It's lazy and, like, they don't really have ambitions for themselves. They just live life and enjoy life, which is cool. But I see, like, a tendency for, like, a lot of American niggas. They just lazy as fuck. They don't like, especially Gen Z, lazy as fuck. They just don't like doing shit for real. I feel like that's because we have too strong of weed, bro. It's too strong. It fucks you up, bro. Just fucks you up, bro. But, like, every generation has their thing, bro. Every generation has their thing. I feel like our generation's lazy. Millennials, I feel like they got too heavy into the drug shit. Like, the hardcore drug shit. That was their thing. Gen X, nigga, they were just, you feel me, bad parents. Baby boomers, nigga, too much of them niggas. Sex addicts, coke. Everything has everything. Stop saying I'm yapping, bro. It's literally, bro. Y'all literally watch this stream to see me yap. I don't know why y'all keep on talking about yapping. That shit pisses me off. Cloud, you letting an 8 foot, 11 pound. I'm not reading that shit. I'm sorry.
He definitely cooked. And now we have another woman giving her perspective.
We're all of those things all the time anyway. Although we like to think not.
Right.
Everybody is prejudiced about everything all the time. And it comes from ignorance and from fear of the unknown. So I think from time immemorial, older people always thought we did it right, they're doing it wrong. You know, we walked 5 miles to school in the snow. You know, the whole old story. But I think it just keeps repeating itself over and over and over again.
And gosh darn it, she's correct. The amount of older people I see romanticize their past and using how hard they work as a badge of honor to justify their argument that Gen Z is lazy. It's kind of alarming. We were taught work. We had chores. I first grew up in Wisconsin, and most of my schoolmates were the children of farmers. They were up at 5 a.m. milking cows or gathering eggs. I didn't escape a life of work. My father owned a honey business, and I remember at 5 years old putting together frames for the hives. We were taught how to work, and it was a fact of life. I never resented it. If we got lazy and did a lousy job, our father would make us do it all over again. It taught us to do the job the right way the first time. All my employers reaped the benefits of my upbringing. Lots of things have changed, some for the better, some for the worse, but I can't help but see the worst. This is not a better world. This is actually a worse one. I mean, I guess I can't argue with that. I guess baby boomers are just that hardworking, and Gen Z really is that lazy.
For a whole generation that I suppose we would now call spoiled kids.
This whole image of giving your children everything you had, and they have to be satisfied and they have to be content, and I think we gave them much too much.
We knew it was because you went to work, but I'm not sure our children realized that. And I have a strong suspicion that what happened in the late 60s was that the kids who rebelled took it for granted that life would...
So they say baby boomers are fucking spoiled. Sheesh, I ain't gonna lie. History does repeat itself.
Improve automatically.
Spoiled kids.
Spoiled? But that doesn't make sense. Baby boomers are supposed to be the hard-working generation. Gen Z is supposed to be the one that's lazy. Actually, now that I think about it, here's an excerpt of an article I found that proves just how lazy Gen Z is. Everybody was getting too darn lazy, and nobody wants to work anymore. That's the truth if I ever heard it. You see? I knew it. Gen Z really is the one that's late. Wait a minute. This isn't a recent article at all. This was made in 1952. But wait. Sorry, guys. Here's an actual recent article about Gen Z being lazy and not wanting to work anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore. Wait, this one's not recent either. This one came out in 1969. Most boomers would have been of working age at that point. That doesn't make any sense. Wait, but this one from 1940? 1922, 1905, all the way back to 1894.
Damn, history really does repeat itself, bro. That's crazy.
Or actually, there's an entire list of adults saying the same exact thing throughout history. How could it be possible that every generation at one point or the other was considered to be lazy or entitled? Well, there could only be one explanation. Either every generation in their adolescence is just lazy by default, and they wait until some arbitrary time in the future, and they stop being lazy all of a sudden, or everyone who holds that belief is a victim of their own bias. Truth is, there are way too many factors to determine the work ethic of an entire generation. For example, a baby boomer who grew up on a farm and a baby boomer who grew up in the city literally lived two completely different lives and have two completely different work ethics.
That is
true. The same exact thing applies to Gen Z in those same scenarios as well. The problem is that these people believe that the youth don't want to work, while not understanding that as society advances, the standard of how we work changes. The silent generation, born and lived through the Great Depression and World War II. Growing up with the patriotic values of fighting for one's country, they valued loyalty over everything else. So the standard of work at the time was stay loyal to one company until retirement.
Which
Baby
is such a
boomers were born in an economic boom.
Such a horrible idea, just to stay loyal to one company when they're not gonna stay loyal to you. That was just American fucking propaganda, bro. I'm so glad we're past that point.
Shortly after World War II ended. Their optimism due to this post-war economic success made them more likely to take risks, and for the most part, job loyalty actually paid off back then because of the booming economy. Their standard of work was, work hard at your job and your job will take care of you. Gen X, sandwiched in between two generations, shares similar values to baby boomers, but was the first generation where...
Gen X is just irrelevant, bro. Like, all they did was fucking get hooked on crack and become bad parents.
Dual income home, as in both parents having a job, became normalized and grew up needing to be more independent, many of which grew up entrepreneurial. Their standard of work at the time was find work that gives you autonomy. Millennials, the generation everyone picked on before Gen Z. Millennials experienced massive advancement in technology and drastic social and economic change. They're old enough to remember 9/11 and the '08 crash, so they know that they have to be flexible to survive, but they also know that the idea of a safe, secure job doesn't exist anymore. So the standard work of their time period was find something flexible that gives you a work-life balance. Gen Z, the first generation to grow up with the internet, and also the first generation to question the old mantra of staying loyal to a company. In an age where a corporate company will let you go faster than they hire you, and the rise of social media and the internet giving us more options than ever to make
I thought I was gonna get robbed.
money. We're the first generation to realize that there's no need to settle for a company that's
and I'm so glad we did realize that, bro, because now we're just, I ain't gonna lie, Gen Z is really changing the world, bro. For the worse and the better. I will say that. But like, at least I feel like our Gen Z, we're more free than other generations, bro. Like, we're like the liberating generation. But Gen Alpha's gonna I feel like Gen Alpha's gonna get like the repercussions of that. Because when you liberate something, at first it's amazing, but then it's like the bad parts about it like starts to come up. And Gen Alpha is really gonna show the bad parts of, like, you feel me, our liberation, bro.
Not going to treat us how we're worth. Whether you like it or not, the new standard of work for this generation is work for a purpose and don't settle for less. Gen Z is not lazy. We have more options and the standard for work has changed. Regarding the first claim, is Gen Z lazier than other generations? Slander. Conclusion, keeping historical and societal context in mind, Gen Z is no more lazy than any other generation given the circumstance.
Okay, let's be real. Yes, we are. Like, I understand the point you're making. I think, like, every generation, I think that's just a thing that every generation says. But let's be real. It's a lot of lazy niggas. A lot of lazy niggas in our generation, bro. It's also biased, though.
On to number 2.
Generation Snowflake.
This is the snowflake generation.
Is Gen Z soft?
Come to call Generation Z, referred to as the snowflake.
We have a group of people entering the labor market that are snowflakes. They believe that when they speak, the words from God are coming out of their mouth.
Objection. The belief that Gen Z is softer and weaker than previous generations is another case of generational stereotyping.
That's absolutely true. Look, okay, my opinions on Gen Z being soft. We are. That I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how he's gonna work around this one. We are soft. Let's just be real, nigga. And I don't even think it's our people's fault. I feel like it's just the internet, bro. It's really millennials just preaching soft tendencies to us Gen Zers, and we're just running with it, bro. So a lot of things we're just way too soft about, bro. It's like nowadays, you get canceled for anything, bro. Like, nigga, you can't say anything, bro. It's crazy. You can barely have an opinion, bro.
Anyone who unironically,
I don't think we're just soft. It's just Twitter. Yo, that's a great take. I think it's just Twitter too. But like, I feel like it's like the people on Twitter like just making our generation soft. Bro, what the hell? Like, I'm sick as hell.
Believes that Gen Z is a soft generation. Where are you basing this belief off of? And I'm not talking about physical weakness. We all know about the obesity crisis and that one picture that compares high school boys from 50 years ago to now. Usually,
but that, like, okay, peep. The reason why okay, let me show you something. Let me make a good point real quick. I feel sick as hell, bro. I'm not gonna lie. We might have to end the stream earlier, bro. I feel sick, bro. Like, sick. Peep. All right. So, 2 points.
Crisis and that one picture.
Obesity crisis. We already went over that. Look, bro. I feel like that's the big. I feel like that's the big thing that we're soft about. We just don't care about obesity no more. We be talking about fat phobic, nigga. Look, if you're fat and you don't want to be fat, are you mad? Look, if you're fat, you're mad that people are calling you fat, work out. That's it. Don't get mad at people for bullying you. They can fix the fucking problem, bro. That's all. That's how I feel about that. That's how I'm always gonna feel about that. When y'all call me fat, do y'all think I just sit in my room in the corner and cry? No. Every single time y'all call me fat, I'll be thinking, damn, I'm finna go crazy in the gym tomorrow, bro. I might be getting a little bit fat, bro. Y'all need I might complain about that shit, but it locks me in, bro. If y'all didn't tell me I was getting fat, bro, I'll probably be fat as fuck right now. I ain't gonna lie. Cause I gain weight easily. So like, y'all keep me locked in on like, you feel me, losing weight. I feel like bullying isn't a bad thing, bro. It keeps niggas locked in, bro. I'm telling you, you just gotta take the criticism in the right way. Also, second point, this is what he's finna say right now. I'm gonna address this too.
That compares high school boys from 50 years ago to now. Usually,
the reason why this is,
and that one picture that compares.
The reason why high school boys back then look bigger than they do now. First off, I don't believe this take. This take is bullshit. But actually, no, I do believe it a little bit. Let me break it down to you. The reason why high schoolers look bigger back then is because back then the nutrition was way better. Our nutrition nowadays is filled with chemicals, fucking pesticides, fucking chemicals, fucking all this shit that fucks up our body and fucks up our growth. That's why if you ever if you live in the city, right, and you ever go to like the poor side of the city and then go to like the richer side of the city, one thing you'll always notice, the richer side of the city always has taller people than the poorer side. Nigga, peep. Mind you, for example, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a primarily white city. I live in the most black part. I live in like one of the most I live in the most diverse area in my city. It's also one of the most ghetto, one of the known hoods of our city. Like, even though it's not really a hood, but Nashville motherfuckers don't care about us, right? The city don't really care about where I live at, right? So, Pete, I live right next to like the richest county in Tennessee. Literally the richest county in Tennessee. So, I be over there all the time. It's Brentwood, Franklin, it's called Williamson County. I be there over there. Like, I'm literally on the line of Davidson and Williamson County. So, I be in both areas. But I get all my nutrition and water from Davidson County instead of Williamson County. So, peep. I literally see this effect in real life. Most people I find in the area, in like Antioch, aka the hood kind of area, most niggas are small, short, malnourished, or they're like fat off of like McDonald's and shit. They don't look really healthy. You know, most niggas over like in Antioch, they're short. But but whenever I go to Brentwood, the rich side, nigga, everybody's tall. Everybody's tall. Everybody looks healthy. Everybody's skin is glowing. And I'm telling you, it's primarily because of the water and nutrition they get. I'm telling you, bro. Because over here, we have Aldi's, Walmart. That's all we got. But over there, they got Whole Foods. Nigga. They got clean-ass, filtered spring water over there. We got fucking purified shit with chemicals and shit. I'm telling you, all of that matters in nutrition, bro. All of that matters. All of that matters in your height, how much you grow, how much muscle you build, all of that. Because them chemicals, them antibiotics you be eating in your meat, all that, it fucks with your testosterone as a man. It makes you smaller. Fucks with your height and all that shit too. That's why men are becoming more feminine. That's why men are becoming weaker nowadays, bro. All this meat, all these chemicals we're consuming, bro. We're not supposed to be consuming that shit. Y'all might call me a conspiracy theorist for saying that shit, but it's just the truth, bro.
There's high school boys from 50 years ago to now. Usually when people talk about Gen Z being soft, they're referring to sensitivity. As in, this generation is too sensitive. This generation gets offended too easily. All they care about is their mental health. And the term snowflake gets tossed around so much that it just became another buzzword. We already talked about the kids these days effect earlier. Do I really need to bring up the fact that this rhetoric isn't new either?
Precious snowflakes.
The snowflake.
The snowflakes.
Snowflake.
The snowflake.
A snowflake.
Millennial complaining syndrome. Self-absorbed.
I'm gonna say this though. I will say this about the snowflake thing. back in the 60s when they integrated the races and all that. What do you think the fucking was it called the silent generation or the generation before the baby boomers? What do you think they were calling all the baby boomers when they was trying to progress through the racial stereotypes? Snowflakes, pussies, old softies. They were calling them that too. That's the only thing I'm gonna say about this snowflakes thing. Older niggas just say that. Older niggas do say that shit to kind of discredit the younger niggas, even if they're trying to advance past some shit. Now, I do also feel like our generation is unnecessarily soft in a lot of areas, but I'm just saying that, all right, because they was definitely calling the baby boomers snowflakes.
Self-absorbed,
Distracted.
They get distracted. Entitled, lazy, entitled, millennials, entitled.
Almost every complaint people have about Gen Z today, they've already said word for word about millennials a few years ago. Does this hold any merit? Are kids today really that sensitive? Or is this another case of old people complaining about young people? Obviously, this is another case of generational stereotyping, and this belief usually stems from a lack of context and nuance. But I can't lie, there is some merit behind this. To gain a broader perspective, I've asked a young person, another Gen Z, to gain a different opinion on the topic.
Let's start off with the positives. I like that we will stand up to authority. Like, for instance, with our jobs, we won't.
I like that hat right there.
These are my boundaries as an employee. I demand to be paid a respectable living wage, or else I'm going to leave and get a new job. Compared to like previous generations that just stick it out in a bad situation. But then the thing that I don't like about this generation is, our outlook on life. I would say we're very depressed. It's good that we're more aware of mental health and that we do recognize that there are pressures in life that may be too hard to suck it up. But I feel like we need more.
But I feel like we're also just a lot more open about being depressed because past generations have been depressed. You can't tell me them Vietnam vets or the World War II vets weren't depressed. They were. They just weren't open about it. That's the only thing.
Stoicism in the sense of this generation, just a mentality that life is tough, but I'm going to get through it and I'm going to progress.
And he's absolutely correct. There is an uptick in the mental health crisis in the younger generation, due in part to the emergence of social media, while simultaneously being hyper-conscious of social issues in the world. And thanks to this hyper-awareness of mental health and social issues, Gen Z, on average, are more sensitive to topics that, in their eyes, seem less tolerable. So if you think Gen Z is soft because of their perceived lack of resilience and their sensitivity to social issues, I guess you're correct. But the magic word needed here is nuance, because I doubt.
RC, if you ask me to refund you one more time, I'm gonna get Mamba to fucking time you out for 4,000 seconds. I'm done seeing that shit, bro. I'm tired of seeing that shit. You're not gonna get refunded. Alright, shut the fuck up.
Margaret is keeping the current mental health crisis in mind when bashing Gen Z on Reddit. Real quick, for everyone who says that, I have a quick question. Come a little bit closer. Have you spent any considerable time with Gen Z?
I have very little interaction with the younger generation. I don't have children. I don't have grandchildren.
Okay.
So I basically have nothing to do with the younger generation. So it's you. You're it.
Do you feel there's a pattern of the older generation hating or disliking the younger generation?
Say only if they're not in touch. But if the older generation has grandchildren that they are in touch with, that would be a different answer.
This is important for many reasons because perception is everything. Typically, our view on a particular group of people is based upon the amount and what type of exposure we personally have with said group. Let's say you have very little interaction with a certain group of people, as in you never or rarely hold conversations with them and you don't have any of them as friends. But the only times you are exposed to a person of that group, you see them being loud and obnoxious. And you look online and see one or two videos of people of that group also being loud and obnoxious. Based on that limited exposure, it's likely you'll assume all people of that group are loud and obnoxious, while ignoring the possibility that maybe only a small percentage of people within that group actually behave that way. But if your only exposure is that small percent, you'll think everyone acts this way. And the same works on the opposite end. If you are a part of a particular group of people, it's common to think, why are people of my blank so loud and obnoxious? When in reality, your only perception of your demographic outside of yourself is based upon your personal circle and a few other people you see online. My theory is that there is a bunch of people who have very little or virtually no interaction with Gen Z. They see a couple videos on TikTok of a person who happens to be Gen Z crying or complaining, and they assume that's how the entire generation must behave.
Yeah, I feel like social media is a big problem on why people don't think our generation is good either. Because, like, look, I'm gonna just keep it real. Every single generation has problems, right? But, like, the thing with Gen Z, everybody gets to see our problems because of social media. That's why our generation seems so bad. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, honestly. I do think we're lazier than most generations. I do think we're softer than most generations. But I mean that's really it. I feel like besides that, you really can't make a point. We're smart. Look, this has been one of the smartest generations that's come. Alright? Because it's so easy to learn information. We also are one of the most innovative generations too. We make money in different ways. We're also free. We're more self-aware. This generation is a lot better than like past generations in a lot of things, but like in a lot of things still, our generation is worse. And plus we really get broadcasted to all the past generations. So everybody gets to see our like triumphs, but everybody sees our flaws too. I feel like that's where depression comes in too. But I feel like our generation, like, we overindulge in drugs, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. Look, we all know I've smoked weed. I drank lean one time, and y'all niggas blow that shit over. I will never drink lean a day in my life ever again because I tried that shit. I wasn't fucking with it. All right, but I will tell you this: if you do choose to go if you do choose to smoke or whatever, don't overindulge. I know y'all niggas love to say I be high all the time. Nigga, I barely smoke. Like, barely smoke. Or I barely get high. You want to know why? I wouldn't be able to do this. I literally wouldn't be able to do this. A lot of y'all have asked for a high stream. Bro, I can't stream while I'm high. I'm going to end stream in like 2 hours, nigga. I'm going to stop caring. So, like, I'm telling you, yo, okay, if y'all don't stop spamming, bro, Rabbit and Cloud, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing, nigga. But yo, Mama, give both of them 2 quick timeouts, bro. And Cheese Wheeze, whatever. Give them timeouts real quick, bro. They're starting to piss me off. But yo, look, I'm telling you right now, bro. Don't overindulge in drugs, bro. I only do it like on special occasions, bro. I recommend you don't do it if you guys. I recommend you don't do this shit at all. But if you do it on special occasions and leave it there. But if you're an addictive person, don't do it at all. I'm not a very addictive person. I have good discipline, so I can afford to do it only on occasions because I'm not finna smoke every single day. That's just me. But bro, I'm telling you, don't do that. Like, yo, just know your body, know your person, bro.
Calling Gen Z soft because you see a couple people making a fool of themselves on social media is just like saying all baby boomers were hippies because you saw a couple of them on TV. Social media wasn't around back then, but I'm sure the silent generation said the same about the baby boomers when they rebelled in the late 60s. So what does this all mean? Does this mean to avoid stereotyping we should befriend every Gen Z on the planet? Nah, just means that be aware whatever overgeneralization of a generation you have is usually not correct and usually stems from a loud minority of people. That's it. So back to claim 2. Is Gen Z soft? Plausible. Conclusion, Gen Z.
Yes. Just say yes, bro. Just say yes. I know you got bias. I know you have bias into this, but yes, we are.
Has a unique hyper-awareness of mental health issues, and their tendency to question authority and traditional societal norms created a sensitivity to social issues. However, keeping nuance in mind is to understand that our stereotype of Gen Z being soft may be from our limited exposure with the generation. So where do we go from here? To be clear, the point of me making this video wasn't to bash older generations and not even really to defend Gen Z. With the amount of noise there is on the news about how quote-unquote terrible Gen Z is, I was curious to see if the older generations actually felt that way. And to my surprise, every person of the older generation who agreed to sit down for an interview only had positive things to say about the youth. So it's only right that I end this video off with a few of my favorite moments I had speaking with them and asking how confident they are in the younger generation's ability to lead in the future, with the hopes of adding to the conversation to say that if we aren't in touch with the other generations, our perception of them likely isn't true.
Yeah, very much so.
You're very much confident?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, really?
They'll be so much better than what we have now.
You know what they say in Africa? They say the children are the wealth of the nation. Children are the future. It's about you.
I depend on them. I need them more than they need me.
Believe in the rights that you have in this country and stand up for them.
Who's going to lead the world? I mean, that's why when I see a kid that's doing what you're doing, I'm proud, I'm happy.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It means a lot.
And in the words of the great Joseph.
Ciao.
I'll turn off the camera.
This is a good word to learn in Italian. Ciao.
Ciao.
It's goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ciao, man. Ciao. Good video, though. I like this. It's unique. I like stuff like that, bro.